So hi, welcome to this video and on this channel wherein we discuss interior design, and for this module we will be discussing the various accessibility laws and codes pertaining to design. So in the Philippines there are different kinds of codes that refer to design. So the primary is the Batas Pambansa Bilang 344, or the accessibility law, and of course it's implementing rules and regulations. So let's jump right into it. In the accessibility law, or BP 344, there are some provisions, specifically the size and dimension of rooms, which differs from that of the Presidential Decree 1096, or PD 1096, or the National Building Code of the Philippines. The minimum standard for BP 344 room is 1.8 by 1.7, in contrast to PD 1096, which is 1.2, with a minimum 1.2 width and by 0.90 meters. Okay. Other items such as the pressure force of a door for BP 344 is about 4 kilograms in closing. Okay. And then the pull handles are also required for doors in BP 344, which is 1.06 above the floor. And kick plates are required for the exit doors, which is about 0.30 of, or 1 foot of height at the bottom of the door, which is a kick plate. Okay, so the clearance of ledges for the accessibility law is 40 mm. So these are just some items. In 344, the minimum corridor width for BP 344 is 1.2 meters, and then the distance of a dead end should not be more than 3.5 meters. Okay, so basically those are some of the pertinent provisions which pertains to design. Okay, so on to another law which is related to universal design, is somehow related, is the Republic Act 10028, or the Expanded Breastfeeding Promotion Act, because this act also has a provision that pertains to the design of buildings, because it requires a lactation area, which should be private, clean, sanitary, and when well ventilated room should be available in the workplace or office, or in public places where nursing mothers can wash up, breastfeed, or express their milk comfortably and store this afterward, and should not be located in the toilet. Okay, so all health and also non-health facilities, establishments, or institutions shall establish a lactation area. This area or station can be a corner shielded with screen, so it can be a folding screen, does not have to be a room, or a movable divider that will ensure the privacy of the employee while expressing milk, or it could be within a clinic also, but shielded from view by a divider. So lactation stations should have a lavatory for hand washing, unless there is an easily accessible lavatory nearby. Refrigeration or appropriate cooling facilities for storing express breast milk, electrical outlets for breast pumps, a small table, and a comfortable seat. So please keep in mind, for this RA 10028, the Expanded Breastfeeding Promotion Act requires a small table and comfortable seating. Okay, stations can also include an occupied or an in-use signage. Take note of this, a signage, a clock to monitor the use of the room, covered trash can, information about the lactation guidelines and about breastfeeding support services. And take note also that promotional ads of using breast milk substitute and infant formula are prohibited within these stations. So ads of breast milk substitute are prohibited within these stations. So another very specific accessibility law is, which is very unique to Cebu, is the barrier-free tourism acts in the city and in the province. So please take note that enacted ordinances in Cebu City and in the province of Cebu are different. Okay, because Cebu is a chartered city. Okay, so for Cebu City, it is known as the 2014 Barrier-Free Tourism Ordinance of the City of Cebu. So it is quite similar to the Barrier-Free Tourism Act of 2012 in the province of Cebu, wherein it has guidelines for hotels and public establishments and commercial establishments. Okay, so it governs spas, resorts, malls, restaurants, inns, hotels, pension houses, apartment hotels, museums, hospitals, clinics, sports and recreation centers. So please take note of this when you are designing an establishment in Cebu City or the province of Cebu. There is a barrier-free ordinance which is very specific. Even the design of counters, which you will find in section 5.3, it should be a reception counter that should not be exceeding 75 centimeters from floor to the countertop. The design of the elevators, the interior doors and emergency exits, the design of the bedrooms. And please take note, especially in Cebu City, that for every 50 rooms there should be at least one PWD room in a hotel that is designated primarily for the PWD. So again, I'd like to reiterate, for every 50 available rooms in the hotel or motel or inn, there should be at least one designated for PWD. Okay, and please take note the lever type door handles that are required, the switch heights, the dual peepholes. So especially for the wheelchair, there should be peephole that should be lower. There should be dual, one for the conventional height and one for lowered for persons with disability on wheelchairs. Okay, the bed height minimum, the design of the toilets. So please take note the lavatory, the showers, how to design restaurants, the hospitals and clinics. And take note that there's a special grant, a special allowable deduction when an establishment follows these the provisions of the ordinances. Okay, so again, there is a special deduction in recognition of the establishment where they follow these guidelines. Okay, okay, and for the province of Cebu, it is known as a Barrier-Free Tourism Ordinance of the province of Cebu of 2012. So in Cebu it was 2014, and in the province it is 2011. So it has it is quite different from that of Cebu City, but same. No, it also has guidelines for reception areas, interior doors, the hotel room guidelines, the lever type handles, dual height of peoples, switches, bed height, the toilets, and the grab bars, showers, lavatories, elevators, and swimming pools, even as for tourist buses. And um, also there is an incentive scheme for those who apply the provisions of the guidelines. Okay, so just the same, it shall apply, the ordinance shall apply to tourism-oriented public and private buildings, service, but unlike in Cebu City, somehow it does not mention the number of PWD rooms in hotels. That is minimum. Okay, so another law that is somehow relevant for the uh, inclusion or universal design is the SOGI Ordinance of Mandaue, because in section 14, when you are designing a public establishment in the city of Mandaue, specifically government agencies, private offices, and commercial industrial establishments may designate a toilet room and lavatory labeled as a SOGI comfort room. So very important when you are designing an establishment, a public establishment in Mandaue, because they have a sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression ordinance, which states a designation of a SOGI restroom. Okay, so those are the specific laws that somehow summarize the accessibility codes here in the Philippines. So if you know any of other provinces in the Philippines, please do feel free to comment. Okay, so I'll see you on the next video. So bye.